If you can't decide between the Peloton bike and the Peloton Tread, then this video is for you. And don't worry, I'm not going to tell you at the end that why don't you just get both, that's not why you're here. But I will give you 8 questions that you should ask yourself, which will help you decide. Let's get cracking. So first is size. As you can probably see, the Tread takes up more space than the bike does. But let's have a closer look at this. Now, to get the specifications on the bike and the Tread, the size and the width and the weight, etc., you can get these from the Peloton website, as well as, which a lot of people don't consider, is how much ceiling height you'll need as well. But let's look at them in a more practical setting. I'll just come around the 2 of them to give you some idea, and then we'll get the tape measure out. So both of these are probably about the distance you'd perhaps have them from the wall. And with my tape measure on the floor from the wall, we can see that the bike finishes at around 60 inches. So that's about 5 feet. I'd say, yeah, 5 feet is where the bike ends, 1.5 meters, and that's the back of the bike. Now with the bike, you don't really need any more space behind it. So you might be sitting up on the bike, but that's kind of where things would end. Let's look at the Tread. So the Tread, that's coming in at, where are we? 78 inches, or nearly 2 meters. So in addition to that 78 inches we've talked about, you're also going to need another 6 feet or 2 meters behind the Tread. So you wouldn't have a weight rack there. This isn't where it normally sits. But you can see that it does take up quite a lot of space if you stick to the rule of 6 feet behind. My Tread sits across the room, so I don't have that 6 feet or 2 meter runoff at the back. I understand why it's there. If you fall off the Tread at high speed, you're not going to go crashing into a wall or a weight rack, and it's just there for safety. So if you're going to stick to what they suggest, in addition to the size of the Tread, you're going to need another 2 meters, 6 feet, behind it. I mention this a lot in my videos, so apologies if you've heard this before, but I'm a lifelong severe asthmatic, so I've got about 60 to 65% lung function. However, having the bike and doing nearly 400 rides on it, I do feel fairly fit. My resting heart rate, despite taking asthma drugs, which raise my heart rate, is about 58 to 62. So the bike is an essential part of my fitness journey. If I wanted to get fitter than I am, then it gets into the realms of effort goes up quite a lot and the reward goes up quite slowly. Plus I like beer, and plus I like barbecue too. So it's just not going to happen. But what I have noticed since getting the Tread is it's added an extra layer of fitness to my overall health. So I feel pretty fit just with the bike. I feel fitter, which I didn't expect to feel fitter when I use the Tread. I think this is down to the fact that running on the Tread is harder and it uses more muscles, but I think running in general is probably one of the best ways to increase your cardiovascular fitness. The next question you should ask is, which is easiest? So, I mean, the short answer to this is they're both difficult, but the Tread is harder than the bike. Next is time. So we save so much time having the Pelotons here in our home gym than we used to spend going to the gym. It was probably a 40-minute round trip every single time we went. But one does take longer to work out on than the other. So if I want to work out on the bike, I jump on the bike. There's a warm-up built into every ride, and at the end of that ride, I do a 5-minute stretch. So a 30-minute bike ride takes me 35 minutes with that stretch on the end. Now, with the running machine, a 30-minute workout probably takes me closer to 50 minutes. The reason for that is I just have to warm up longer, so I have to do a pre-run warm-up and stretching routine before I get on the Tread, and then after I get off the Tread, I need to do a cool down and also another stretching routine. And this might be just specific to me, but if I don't do the extra warm up and cool down, then I just get lots of little injuries. Next is longevity. And let's face it, if someone said you could take a pill, sit on the sofa watching box sets, eat some Doritos and get really, really fit, you wouldn't be watching this video, would you? And if that was the case and you were watching this video, it would be me just turning it into an Irish bar. So assuming that pill doesn't come out for 5 years, which of these are you going to prefer to be using? So if you use the bike, you can use the bike, say 2, 3, 4 times a week. You can also go outside with the Peloton app with some headphones in and do a guided run. So the guided runs are excellent. You can do guided walks and runs. You just have a coach in your ears and off you go in your running shoes. With the treadmill, if you're running on the tread 2 or 3 times a week, you can't go outside currently and do a guided cycle ride. Now this may come, I think I've heard rumors that it is coming, so by the time this video comes out, it might already be there. But right now you can ride the bike and do guided outdoor runs. You can't run on the running machine and do guided outdoor bike rides. When they do come, I'm not sure how it's going to work either, because if you're riding at say 20, 25 miles an hour, are you going to be safe doing that with headphones in? I'm sure they've thought of that and it will come at some point. The next question is about impact on your body. So I've had the bike longest, and after about 50 rides, I started to get quite severe hip pain. So I didn't know what it was. I thought I'm too young for a hip replacement. But it turned out it was my gluteus medius. So I've never heard of this muscle. So at the back here, you've got your gluteus maximus. At the side is a medius. At the front is a minimus. There you go. We've both learned something. So I was just straining the medius muscles, and with some stretches, I was able to get rid of that fairly quickly. With the running machine, I've had strain on the ligaments in my ankles. I've had calf strains, and this is despite me doing all these warm-ups. I've also had hip pain as well, and I've also had a runner's toe, which I didn't even know existed until I got it. Quite often the day after a run, I'd wake up just like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz, just as stiff as a board. So this might be something that's more me than you, but you know your body and which is going to have the heavier impact on your body over time. The next question is after workout buzz. So for every one workout I've done on the tread, I've probably done about 6 or 7 on the bike. However, I get much more of a buzz from the tread when I get off. I'm all sweaty and I'm feeling great than I do the bike. That might be just me, you might have a different feeling, but the tread seems to have more of a feeling of freedom than the bike does. Next is resale value. So you're probably not even thinking about selling your Peloton equipment on, but at some point you will want to sell your bike or your tread. Now, if you look on eBay, there's a lot more bikes for sale than there are treads, but what's going to be easier to sell on? Now, with the tread is a little bit tainted, which I think we'll understand why. So are people going to be more interested in getting a bike than a tread? I'd also say that with the bike, you can take the screen off very easily and the seat, and the whole bike fits in the back of our Volkswagen e-Golf. Whereas with this treadmill, it's a really big machine. So I don't really know how easy it would be to move. It certainly wouldn't fit in a car. You may have to get Peloton to move it, or you may have to get a removal company or somebody and a few people in a van. Oh, this is really, it's a bit better now. Blimey, this is really heavy. Oh. Sorry, body. Now this is much easier. I just watch the screen. Yeah, this is several times easier to move than the tread. So in conclusion, this is the 9th biggest bonus question, is what's right for you? What's your heart telling you that you should do? So it's so hard because I love the bike, but I love the freedom of the treadmill. So in addition to laid back home fitness, I also like electric vehicles. And if I've got a choice of going out on my electric bike or my electric unicycle, then the unicycle wins all the time, just because of the feeling of freedom. However, with that feeling of freedom, as I found out on the tread, comes injury, and also on the unicycle, I fell off it, it really hurt. I'd also like to add that the coaching on the tread and also the bike is world class. So whichever one you choose, you'll be very happy with the coaching. If you're a novice rider, you'll get fantastic coaching. If you're a novice runner, you'll get fantastic coaching. If you're an experienced runner or rider, you will still get challenged on these machines. So I hope that's helped. Let me know in the comments which one you go for. If you've enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, as I've mentioned, this channel is about laid back home fitness, then please hit the subscribe button. See you soon.